Welcome to Women of the World, a show which gives a voice to women from around the world who have chosen to make the United States their home. Here's Uma Janga.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Uma Janga and I'll be moderating this episode. And here are a wonderful co-hosts who are with me today. Let me start with Anu Muprala. Hi Anu.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Glad to see you. Hi Changwin.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too.
Hi Almakana.
Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
The guest today for today's show is Hema Menon. She is a periodontist and dental implant specialist, board certified diplomat of the American Academy of Periodontology, member of the American Dental Association, Minnesota Dental Association, St. Paul District Society, and the American Academy of Periodontology. And it's my pleasure to introduce her, Hema Menon. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Hema.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Okay, so the primary focus of this show, is to invite women from, it's about women who come from abroad and who come to US to settle down and pursue their dreams. So it would be really nice if you can talk a little bit about what made you to come to US and, why did you choose to pursue your career here?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was a dentist by profession back in India, and relocation to the United States happened after marriage. My husband was engineer, is an engineer by profession, and he was working over here. So we just relocated after we got married, and right now I'm here in Minnesota, and things just roll from here professionally in a different phase.
So when did you come to Minnesota? When did you come to US?
I relocated in 2005.
Okay.
And immediately I had to think about pursuing my career. So the first option was to look into the dental schools. So I was really interested in pursuing my master's. So things started rolling from there. I had to clear my boards and applied for a lot of universities, and got enrolled in St. Louis University. And I did my 3 years master's in periodontics over there, and moved back to Minnesota because that's where we have been all these years. So, and started my practice.
So were you able to transfer your degree from India straight to United States?
Yes, we are able to transfer a little bit of credits, but in order to pursue your master's, you need to clear your boards, and there is additional educational needed in order to work as a periodontist or to specialize in any field. So you have to get into your university and get your specialization.
So how difficult from here and compared to India, where you can become a doctor, dentist?
How difficult? I did not find it that difficult. It's basically getting your goals and setting your goals right. So it's there is a set standard, and it's all about clearing those requirements in order to get into the university. So clearing the national boards was the first requirement, and that has two parts, part 1 and part 2. And then you apply to the universities, and it's a process of interviews, and you get accepted in one of the schools, whichever you like. And I really like St. Louis University, so that is why I prefer to go to that state. And you just need to undergo the rigorous 3-year course, which includes faculty training as well. So you teach the kids, and in St. Louis, the way we worked was I was affiliated with both the universities, St. Louis as well as Southern Illinois University. So we were enrolled as faculty members in Southern Illinois, and we had the opportunity to teach students, dental students over there as well, and treat patients. And it's afterwards, after clearing 3 years, I opted to clear my boards. So that's again practical and oral Mainly it's written, and then there's oral examination, which is conducted in Texas. So you go there, and once you're both certified, I moved back to the to the Twin Cities and applied for my licensure. So that's another process. And meanwhile, I also cleared my practical in order to get a licensure, practical exam.
So, from periodontology, right? Tell us a little bit about that the disease, the periodontic disease. How does that affect people? Because I was reading that people actually can die from that.
Yes.
What leads to that?
Well, a periodontist is a specialist who treats gum diseases. So it's basically peri, which is anything surrounding the teeth.
Okay.
So around the teeth, which includes gums and bones. So our primary goal is to help people save their teeth, which includes working on the gums and saving the bone. And if for some reason we are unable to save the teeth because of extensive or advanced bone loss or gum disease, we also help patients regenerate the bone, and if that is also too late, we always have an option of replacing those missing teeth with implants. So we work extensively with patients in rehabilitating their lost dentition in whatever ways we can.
So what made you to choose this career? Were you interested in that, or it just life path made you choose this?
Well, dentistry happened because of my sibling. My elder sister was already into dental school.
Oh.
So that triggered my interest.
Oh, okay.
And the field of periodontics just changed after the interest spiked in after I started working as a general dentist. So I knew this was more interesting, and the surgical aspect of it was what that convinced me that I need to be in this profession. So after moving to the States, it was a no-brainer. I just focused on getting into the periodontic schools and applied accordingly.
Oh, so you did your graduation there back in India and came here, right? So what are all the changes you thought that, it would have been really good if it had been in India, those educational things? What do you think is the best here that you thought you learned a lot?
The best part about education in the U.S. I thought was it's a little bit more relaxing, but that's what I get to hear. It's mainly about the graduate schools.
Okay.
So I did not feel the stress of going through a graduate school at all. It was more enjoyable, and the 3 years just flew by, is what I have to say. So that's, and the way the education is done over here is more practical. So that really helped me learn a lot practically.
Oh.
Were there challenges? I mean, coming from India, and then you relocate to United States, were there challenges, and what were those challenges, and how did you overcome them as a foreigner?
Well, the first part was knowing English very well was one of the biggest assets. So that was the first way I could overcome most of my challenges, knowing the language, which I think is more important to survive in this country, knowing English very well. And as far as educationally, it's just sticking to the goals and going through the requirements, and it's a big list of things that you need to go through to achieve that. But as long as you're set with your goals, I guess everything is easier in this country. There's nothing that one cannot achieve in this country.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Well, I believe that you have more education and English that the most important to learn anything in this country, right? But besides that, do you have any supporter, helper, and any guidance that help you to get into the goal that you want to be?
well, my biggest support was definitely my life partner, my husband. So I had wonderful support from him, and in terms of not only getting into the schools, but also the application part of it. He was really my biggest support. Rest of it is I had to put in my effort to make sure that all those steps are achieved, and which includes exams and clearing everything on time. So it required a lot of time and effort, and putting the right amount of time and getting it done on time, it was more important, so I could get into the school.
That's nice.
That's a great support right there.
So is your husband dentist too, or is it another profession?
No, he's a chemical engineer by profession.
Oh.
Yes, so he works in a semiconductor company in the Twin Cities.
That's really nice.
So coming from outside of United States and then settling here, we, as foreigners, we come with expectations. And I'm just wondering, if you are speaking to people in India and trying to advise them what approach to take when they come to United States, do you have some of the things that you would be saying to them about the expectations and how to approach them?
Absolutely. I do get emails frequently from students who are planning to move to the States and getting to know. So it's basically knowing, it's very important to know what you want to do, whether you want to practice as a dentist or do you want to pursue your education and get into school for a specialization. That's more important, because in the United States, every state has a different rule. So that's more important to know where, what you're interested in and which school you're more interested in getting into. So once that's clear, probably it'll be more easier to get to the website of that particular board and getting to know whether it's easier, the requirements, and getting into school.
Yeah, so Dr. Menon, I did have a question. So I see that from your card you have started your own private practice. And so my question is that comparing the starting up to a private practice to being a staff as a part of a bigger clinic or a larger institution, what would you say was kind of your driving factor for starting your own practice versus staying under staff of like a larger place?
Well, I started off right away after school purchasing a practice from a previous periodontist, who was Dr. Bloom. And I just happened to meet with him and get that opportunity. So things just happened that way. So there was no choice of working as an associate anywhere else. So it happened right after school. So 2010 is when I got the practice. And in 2015, I opened my second practice in West St. Paul. So right now I have 2 practices in St. Paul and 1 in West St. Paul. And I guess it was just the opportunity to expand really helped a lot.
Nice. Okay, and I heard that you are a board certified diplomat of the American Academy of Periodontology, but to get there you need to do more research and you need to be more ahead of normal periodontists. So what does that, what did you do to achieve that?
Well, to be a board certified periodontist, you need to clear written and oral boards.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more stringent. You can do that after the end of your 3rd year, which is the last year of residency. Okay. So during the residency itself, we give in-service examinations to prepare ourselves for the final exam. So the process is, the in-service exam is more of a written exam. And then once you clear that, you get accepted for getting interviewed by a panel of periodontists who are prominent in the field, and they check your knowledge in each and every field. So they present you with different cases and see whether you're able to treat the patient appropriately, and they're going to decide whether that's something that's a right way of approaching the case.
Nice.
So, so I do have another question. So when I think about specialized fields, whether it be like cardiology or neurology, and then I think whether it be being a periodontist or doing another specialization, I think, why is it that dentistry falls under something different than the traditional medical route? Because I would argue that everything is specialized. Every part of the body is its own sort of thing. So why is it that everything else sort of seems to fall under the traditional medical degree, and then dentistry is kind of on its own thing? And I don't know if you have anything to say for that. Being a pre-med student myself, I sometimes have that question.
It's a very wonderful question. It's intriguing that when you go to a doctor to have your exam, routine exam, they probably will evaluate anything beneath your tonsils. Nobody is going to look into your teeth. But that's also a route of entry. And as Anne said, yes, there have been incidents where people die because of neglect from dental health, and that's very common. So it's very important that keeping your teeth and any kind of infection that can be neglected will also lead to death. But the difference in the field, I think it existed right from the beginning. And dentistry was probably not focused initially, but now the importance of the need for to keep the teeth is equally important, just like how you need to stay medically healthy. So
can a person go straight to a periodontist, or do you have to be referred?
No, you do not need to be referred to visit a periodontist. If you know for sure, if you have bleeding gums or you have a problem with a loose tooth, you can always get into a periodontal office and refer yourself. So a referral is not necessary.
Oh, okay. So what are your future plans? What do you want to be 5 years from now? Do you have any other goals, like a PhD or something?
Well, right now, the two practices are definitely keeping me busy. So probably my next goal is to expand the practice and make sure that if possible, I would like to add an associate, provided I keep myself busy. So expansion of the practice is what I'm mainly looking at, and trying to treat more people in both the suburbs, St. Paul and West St. Paul. So.
And outside of your clinic, what do you do for fun? When you're not working, what do you do?
Well, my daughter, she's 5-year-old, so she keeps me busy, her activities. And time goes by just as a mom and as a wife over the weekends. So the role of that keeps me busy for the most part.
Yeah, that I'm always astonished, having a 5-year-old kid, and that your job needs attention, like day and night. So how do you cope up with the, how do you timing, how do you manage your schedule, so that you can do justice to both like family and work? How do you do that?
I have a very good support. So my husband really helps me with helping me out with that. And right now I'm balancing both the practices with splitting my time between the two. So there are only certain days of the week that I'm open in one of the clinic, and the other half of the week I work in my second clinic. So that's how I've been managing it. And weekends are strictly for family time. So try to make up for most of the time by spending time over the weekends.
Yeah. So your other passion, I learned you love cooking too, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you like cooking. So that's
fun. Is any time training for you at all, or just you're done with training or anything, regardless of your field?
I think
become a doctor already. Is any training?
Every day is a learning phase, and you get to learn a lot every day. So I wouldn't say I'm done learning. There are continuing education courses and attending conferences, and there are newer techniques coming up. So you just need to keep yourself updated with all the new techniques. So that is more important.
That's true.
Okay, so I think we're running out of time now. So I think it was really a nice discussion. Yep. Thank you so much, Hema. That was very nice. It's nice to see people coming from abroad and pursuing their dreams here in US, and it's really nice to see that. Thank you so much for sharing. It was really a pleasure to have you here. And now we are just moving on to the cooking segment. Next to the cooking segment, and I'm going to do the cooking. and it's called gobi Manchurian. Hello, welcome back. Right now we are here in the cooking segment, and I'm going to cook an Indian dish. It's called gobi Manchurian. Okay, shall we start? Okay, okay. Let me put some oil.
Is any kind of oil you're using? Or
Yeah, anything you can use. Coconut, any cooking oil, it should be good. It just needs to be already. I think it's pretty good. And now take some. Let it get heated. Put some ginger garlic paste. This is ginger garlic. I just grated ginger garlic. And chilies. Some in there. Let's sort it. Sort it.
Looks like you crushed the
Yep. Just crush it. Yep. Ginger garlic always, you know. Yep. And then add some onions. Can add some onions in it. I can add all that some there. Not everything actually.
Lots of onions.
Onions. I just sorry. I think.
What do you think, Hema? For the Indian cooking, do you prefer the red onions or the white onions?
You know, it depends on, the curries, the gravies. I prefer red onions actually. Yeah, for sambar and other kind of certain dishes, I prefer the white onions. It depends on the dishes too. Red onions adds the kind of, a little bit more pungent taste, I believe, a little bit more flavor. That's what I saw, Okay, let me sort this one out. Just sort this for 2 to 3 minutes, typically, till it gets to a little brown color. Then to add some, now let me add the tomato sauce. This is tomato sauce. Soya sauce.
Did you have them in a certain amount? Did you measure them, or
What's that?
you may have them measured the amount?
Not measure, it's just, I don't typically
Just
measure.
think about, okay.
Okay, just, how much you want. It just depends on.
at home sometimes. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Little bit chili sauce. So all this mixed together, and now add some salt. Give me some salt. You have the spoon here. So this gives a nice color.
How much do you need?
Yeah, just 1 spoon. Yeah, a little bit more. Yep. Thank you.
Smells good.
And while it's sorting, this is the one which I pre-prepared before. These are cauliflower florets. You just mix it in, all-purpose flour. You just make it into a batter, and then dip the cauliflower florets, and then just fry it. That's all you have to do. And that's how it will look once you fry the cauliflower florets. And now you add that to the thing, to this here.
See what the yellow thing?
Sorry.
What is that?
Sorry, let me get this one in there. It's a batter that you make it, that with the all-purpose flour, you just dip the cauliflower in there and just fry it in the oil. You don't have to deep fry, but you can just, It's hard to make, I think, based on how much you want. If you want more, spicy, you can just add more chili sauce to it. This is how you coat the whole soya sauce to it, so it gets nicely coated. You can make it into small pieces, or make sure the whole mixture you know, gets,
Or marinated.
yes, like that, you know. So the cauliflower floret should be fully covered with the sauce. So it gets coated with the sauce.
Now this is something that's typically served as an appetizer.
It can serve, yes, appetizer. And sometimes you can have it with the bread, you know, the naan that we eat, the same kind of, what do you call you have it in a bread serve. What call, I forgot that.
The pita bread?
Pita bread, yes. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, pita bread. You can have it with anything or as it is too. It serves as a...
Only reason I know that is because my college tries to serve Indian food and they say they're giving naan and it's just a piece of pita bread. So they use it interchangeably.
See, it's all like, you know.
Don't they? The naan and the pita bread look alike.
They look alike, but they don't taste the same. They do not taste the same. They have
Now,
a different texture.
all you have to do is garnish with coriander leaves. That's all. It's a very quick dish. The main time-consuming process is just that, you know, you have to, the florets, making the florets and deep frying it. That's the only thing. Other than that, this is a very quick and easy dish. Healthy dish. It smells really good.
The ginger garlic really adds to the
Oh,
aroma.
ginger garlic, definitely. That's, I don't know what's the magic in it. Even in all the Indian curries, we add the ginger garlic paste. It adds a very good flavor to all the curries. Okay, see? This is all it is.
Oh, it smells so good.
Oh, yep.
So we pretty much do different things too, right? Besides cauliflowers.
So yeah, it's a kind of a Chinese, a little different, you know, like using soya sauce instead of the Indian sauces. I'm using soya sauce, so it has a little bit of that Chinese, Indo-Chinese touch, you know. Yes, it's Indo-Chinese dish. Okay, this is how you make. This is what's called gobi Manchurian. Hope you all will enjoy.
Well, thank you.
And this is it. You want to come? You can have a taste of it, like a little later.
Yeah, wait.
Warms up. Okay. Okay. Then this is what gobi Manchurian is. Hope you all will enjoy later. And okay. And thanks for watching. It's a woman.
Did you see the whole thing? Did the TV can show the whole thing?
Oh.
There we go.
We also have a
You can
prepared
also
version.
show the prepared version as well.
Okay. And this is the finished version. Of course, it's the same. It's about the same.
So good.
Thank you so much for being here with me today and watching my cooking session. And thank you all too for watching this show, and hope to see you all next time.